Hi everybody, this is Blossom.
Hi, I'm Bear.
And today I have another tree for you for the Ogham. And yeah, it feels like it's been a while, but that's okay. I was busy, so I took my time a bit. And today we talk about the holly or Tinne. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, that's what I found out so far.
Okay. Well, can we say the holly we can find in the tree calendar from July 8th until August the 4th. The letter would be T. Animals represented by a warhorse or starling. The colours are dark grey and red. And the flower is meadowsweet.
So, and as always, we start with the lore and legend. So, holly is one of the 7 chieftain trees. It was often used by the Druids for solstice fires. It burns amongst the hottest of all trees and also makes particularly good charcoal. And John Matthews refers to holly as fires of coal in his book The Celtic Shaman. If you don't have that, that's a really interesting book. As it burns the wood, the holly, as it burns so hot, it was a preferred fuel for blacksmith fires when burned for the forging of swords. And this gives us a clue for its fierce nature.
You can understand holly's fire as well on a metaphysical level, being fuel for the life force and leading to the illumination of the soul.
The holly's use in smithcraft links it with the Celtic smith god Ogham in Welsh tradition, I write it down again, or Godnew in Irish tradition, who possessed the mead or ale of eternal life, as well as the Saxon smith god Wieland or Wayland, or however you pronounce that. These gods are associated with strength, endurance, and the attainment of skill. Good news! Eternal life-granting mead may also be a reference to his great life force and vitality.
These attributes are all within the distinct energies of the holly, which sees fertility and life force continue through the barren winter. Robert Graves said that the oak and the holly are twin brothers, and when we look at the symbolic meaning of both trees, it seems to be so. We can also see the holly as the shadowy counterpart of the Oak King. As we saw already for the oak, we know about the fight between the Holly King and the Oak King.
So at the summer solstice, we saw that last time, so at the summer solstice the Oak King is killed or sacrificed by the Holly King. Now, this can also happen not only summer and winter solstice where there is the fight, but also Beltane and Samhain. It depends a bit on the tradition. And this cycle is often linked to the goddess Craigyled, and we can see her here in the lovely Fairies Enchantment Oracle by Ian Daniels. Here's a representation of Craigyled. There we go. So she represents the earth goddess that the 2 suitors are fighting and dying for. The Holly King represents a time of darkness and the underworld. Craigyled spends half of the year with one king and half of the year with the other. The cyclic struggle between these 2 halves is recorded in many ancient tales, including the tale of Gawain and the Green Knight. Now let me show you that too. This is from the Arthurian Tarot. There we go. I still don't know. I always say Gawain, but that's probably wrong as well.
No, well, you see, the Green Knight enters Arthur's court at the New Year bearing a great bush of holly as his insignia. He and one of Arthur's knights, Sir Gawain, whose name means the Hawk of May, engage in a beheading contest. Gawain, who as his name suggests, symbolizes the waxing year, strikes off the head of the Green Knight, but the knight, who is magically still alive, will do the same to him next time around, meaning, no doubt, at summer's end.
The Holly King is primarily a sacrificial king, as as a winter counterpart for the Oak King, he ensures the safety and provision for the tribes under his protection. Tinne also means link, referring to its linking pivotal position between the worlds. And here we see the similar symbolic with the oak tree, which is also, an in-between worlds, the door to the other world. So the Holly King oversees those ways via its ability to raise the life force, where the Holly King can be seen as an element of antlered gods like Cernunnos. We can see the horns as reflecting the rise in power and potency. However, personally I see Cernunnos more as the Oak King, and Gwyn ap Nuth, or Nith, as the Holly King. As I feel with Gwyn ap Nuth, we have a darker aspect, and he is associated with war, battle, and death, just as the Holly tree.
That's right. As Holly is the lord of the underworld, he is also connected to issues surrounding the shadow self. Fears and stuck patterns can threaten to overwhelm and destroy spiritual progress and magical development. Here, Holly lends us the courage to preserve and face these issues. The oak teaches us to handle responsibility, and with the holly, this responsibility is seen to continue through a span of time, which brings new problems and matters of endurance through the inevitable lean times that always appear periodically, as well as the reaping of your actions, some of which may not be desirable.
The holly has the ability to withstand the harshest of weather, and its spiked evergreen leaves are testimony to its great life force and responsive and defensive capabilities. Holly is also sacred to the gods Odin and Thor again, so that links again to the oak tree. So Odin's spear Gungnir was made of holly and was said to never miss its target. Before the Christmas tree came to England in the 19th century, a great ball of evergreens and holly berries hung in cottage or hall, decorated with ribbons, paper, rose, apples and oranges. In some parts of England and Germany, holly trees are referred to as he and she, those with prickly edged leaves being male, while the smooth-leaved variety signified a female tree. Whichever type was brought in determined whether the man or woman would rule the household in the coming year. Holly was often paired with ivy, whose blackberries symbolized night and darkness. In some regions, holly played the king and ivy his queen. And another little fact that I want to mention is, if you ever go to France, Brittany in France, how do you say? We say Bretagne. So I don't know if that's it, Brittany in France. But whenever you visit there, you can find Merlin's grave there. Merlin's grave. And you can find that in La Forêt de la Brocéliande. And it's a really cool place. And it's weird because you can park your car nearly next to it.
Yeah, that's true.
And the whole forest is really cool. The grave is, I have to admit, it's weird. I'm very easily too impressed by those things, but yeah, well, I will show you a few pictures here. And go and visit. There you can see probably the most magical holly tree ever, or holly bush more. Okay, so now for the magical use, let me just clean that up, and it's magic time, so we put on a wand here. There we go.
Holly is used for love and long-term commitment spells. If you want to bring in a husband or a wife, collect 9 holly leaves at midnight with clear intent and permission in a square of white cloth. Make a libation to the holly tree and observe complete silence during collection and wrapping, and keep them under the pillow for at least a month. It is said that a man who carries holly leaves is irresistible to women, perhaps because they were carrying the energy of the Holly King or the antlered god with their robust and dark sexuality.
Well, we still have to try that, don't we?
Oh yeah, that was something we wanted to test. Yeah, that's true.
Holly wreaths were placed at the front door at the winter solstice. You can still see that now. It is magically very protective, especially during the winter months when the appearance of its red berries shows its heightened life force. Holly lends its great fiery and fertile energy to the house. But please, you should avoid to bring rowan and holly together in your house, as both are trees with a very fiery energy, and you want to avoid that a fire lights up. I've read that somewhere and it's really interesting. I really, yeah, take care of that.
Yeah, it's good to know.
If you cut holly, but this goes for many trees, for every tree I would say even. If you cut holly without permission, its fierce spirit may turn against you. Holly is also used in sleep magic to induce good dreams and cures insomnia.
You could place holly wood or leaves under your pillow for prophetic dreams or to gain wisdom. But you may also find yourself encountering aspects of the underworld or your own deep subconscious. So be prepared for what it may reveal.
You can use holly wands for protection and in spells for legal success, or you can burn the leaves, which are also useful for protection, legal spells, courage, endurance, and to attract success into any project. It can also be useful for sexual magic, for example in long-term relationships where it may help to rekindle desires. Hang the holly over the bed, or burn it as an incense, and it will help raise life force and libido, especially for man, as its masculine fiery energy will increase appetite and vigor.
The tiny white flowers of the holly, which bloom in May, were once thought to have the power to turn water to ice if sprinkled onto its surface. That's freaky. Red holly berries symbolize the life-giving blood of Mother Goddess. Here's a spell adapted from Whispers from the Woods by Sandra Kynes. So gather 3 berries, or a multiple of 3, and carry them in your hand to a body of water. As you say your incantation, drop the berries into the water. Visualize a circle of light surrounding you as you go through your spell.
When planted around a home, it protects the inhabitants and guards against lightning, poisoning, and mischievous spirits. When confronted by that's a good one. When confronted by wild animals, throwing a stick of holly or even the leaves at them would make them lie down and leave you alone, apparently.
Maybe we should try that too.
Well, luckily I was never in the position yet that I had to do it, that I was attacked by a wild animal. But you never know with the wild pigs, or how do you call them?
Yeah, wild pigs.
Boars. Yeah, you never know.
No, you never know.
Alright, now for the healing part.
Right, holly berries are mildly poisonous and dangerous to children. It helps those troubled with suspicion, hatred, jealousy, anger, and revenge by opening the heart and reliving those feelings. The essence of holly can help with any negative emotion because it possesses a power of peace. Holly helps you to deal with the challenges of the shadow self. It helps to overcome these difficulties and the feelings of fear or insecurity that can accompany them by raising and freeing up the emotional energy.
When you are able to release those difficult feelings or inner turmoil, healing and a more positive outlook can eventually be achieved. The root of those difficulties, though, isn't necessarily how other people treat us, but how we treat ourselves. How little we love ourselves sometimes. Everybody knows that. Everybody can relate to that, I guess. When we are cut off from the source of love, when we don't love ourselves unconditionally, and when we judge ourselves as less than perfect and feel that we have flaws which makes us undeserving for love, it is easy to find evidence in the external world that how others love us is equally imperfect. Dr. Bach said, "Holly protects us from everything that is not universal love or unconditional love. Holly opens the heart and unites us with divine love." Now let's go to the last part about divination, meaning when you get holly in a reading. Let's go.
Holly invites the raising of eternal energy to endure through difficulties and melt through the snows of winter in soul's life. As we all go sometimes through periods of hardship, physically, emotionally or spiritually, Holly will encourage us to raise our life force and to ensure we will have the energy to make it through and bring illumination to our darkness.
Challenges will be overcome with unity and a harmonious effort. Just be sure that the cause is just. So we must train and practice what we learn over and over again until our skills are instinctive. The need to learn daily is a must. So we have to cultivate our intuition until it is instinctive. And then we will be able to respond to fast-moving situations and accept reality in the here and now.
Like a chameleon, you must acquire the ability of slipping in and out of multiple behavior patterns. You must be able to respond to the situation and environment at hand.
Holly can also indicate a fresh start, a second chance, or a time of renewal and permanence, promising a fortified heart and a happier life. Parties and reunions lies ahead, just as the holly tree enjoys winter while anticipating the spring. Some may see the holly maybe as the justice card in the tarot. It is sometimes related to it, as we must be aware of our actions and that there will always be a reaction. Also, the need for balance may indicate this, because that's what the holly is also about, balance. But we can also see it as a bit like the hangman in the tarot, as holly represents personal sacrifice. We saw that before, that this tree is about sacrifice. And yeah, as the holly represents personal sacrifice in order to gain something of greater value. And then other keywords for the holly when you get it in a reading could be unifying strengths, restored balance, restored direction, communication, unconditional love, and responsibility. And that's it already for the holly today. I hope this was helpful. And as always, you can I forgot that in the last video, you can find the text for it on my homepage. Just take a look at the description box, there is the link. Thank you so much for watching. Much love and blessings, and bye bye.
Bye bye.